Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ebony Championship Wrestling, the podcast where we bring you our unique discussions, our expert insights, and our diverse perspectives on all things WWE. Bash in Berlin is in the rear view with Gunther beating Randy Orton straight up. Odyssey Jones is off the roster. And Julia joins NXT's women's roster. So I got some questions here for you boys. The boys are here, wrestling is cool, and this is ECW. Let's get it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and wrestling fans across the globe. This is Ebony Championship Wrestling. I am Jackie Miles, your final host, and your reigning, defending, undisputed ECW champion, front and center. What up? Welcome to your screen, our resident tribal chief, Griff, aka Griff Nation.
What's up, everybody, man? Hope everybody had a great, safe holiday weekend. This was definitely a busy week in the wrestling world. I'm ready to reconnect with my brothers tonight and dive in and go to work.
You can find Griff on Instagram at GriffNation84 and on X at CGriff84. Rounding out the chat room is the man of 61 holds, Montay, a.k.a. Coach Montay.
What's up, my brothers, the ECW fam? Hope everybody had a safe Labor Day weekend. I sure enjoyed mine. It was nice to spend time with fam and friends and getting out there on Lake Louisville down here at a great weekend. Taking in, hey, football is back. Michigan Wolverines pulled out a dub, and hopefully my Cowboys can do the same this Sunday. But other than that, it was a great bash of Berlin. So I can't wait to get into it with y'all boys tonight. So let's do it.
Follow him on Instagram at Coach Montay24. Behind the scenes singing Ain't Nothing But a G Thing karaoke style bar for bar is the advocate to the ECW undisputed champion and my bodyguard, ex-con Pablo himself, BDixx. You can find him on Cash App at BDixx989. You can find us all on Instagram at Ebony Championship Wrestling and on X at Ebony Championship Rest. All right, boys, now that we got the introductions out the way, how's everybody doing tonight, man? Everybody good? Griff, what's going on in your life?
Oh, yeah.
Man, all is well, man. Like you said, it was a busy week of wrestling, but more importantly, man, before we go further, man, today was Mama Griff's birthday today, so celebrating her. One more year from a milestone, celebrating number 69, and made sure I popped in that 69 boy Tootsie Roll for her before she went to work today. Other than that, man, all is well, man. Thought about y'all boys this weekend, man, and didn't want to say much because I know you guys were out having fun, having a blast, doing y'all thing, man, and so was I, kind of behind on the wrestling tips. I know we will catch up on it before the show, and there's a lot to dive into, a lot of things I'm ready to unveil from my perspective tonight, ready to get y'all thoughts, and also hear y'all sides on this well, man. But other than that, man, Griff is doing well, and glad to see y'all boys back on here tonight.
Coach, how you feeling?
Good, man. I feel good, man. Like, hey, I am with you. Your sign on the back. I think we all are. It's the first of, like we said last week, it's football season, it's school season. Your niece started daycare today, and after a long Labor Day weekend. So yes, we are definitely feeling it tonight. But no place I'd rather be than having these headphones on and chopping it up about wrestling, about a great bash of Berlin. It was, and it was pretty good. Say, hey, shout out to Berlin. Being great hosts and finally getting their PLE and then, hell of a crowd. So yeah, let's get it tonight. But other than that, I'm happy to see y'all for sure. How you feeling tonight, Jackie? Oh yeah, and congratulations! I told you, soccer coach of the year.
Listen,
I said
man.
that last week. You didn't want to claim it. I said that last week. You didn't want to claim it.
Call me Jordan Clapp,
well, I see.
He got his dub. He got his dub tonight.
Got the first dub of the year, 5-0. We did our thing. I had nothing to do with it. I just want to throw that out there. But indeed, we got the dub. So, I was just standing there yelling at kids, hey, bro, Good job. Keep going. Keep running.
It works every time.
Every time. No, but
Bro.
it was a terrible day. It was a really, really shitty day because it rained the entire
It rained
day.
all day.
And I had to be outside the entire day from 7 a.m. on. So it was really, really stupid for me. So I'm trying to warm up over here. But we got through it. So it is what it is. And this weekend, we tried to put on a movie, and that we did, I think. And we had a good time out there on the boat and enjoyed ourselves. Glad that we got to finish off the summer the right way, and now we get to dive into all things real life. Let's go. That's what we'll say. All right, boys. Bash at the Berlin was this past weekend, and so I know you guys got some things on your wrestling mind. What's on top of your wrestling mind this evening? Griff, start us off.
Man, well, first and foremost, congratulations to Coach, because Coach went 5 for 5 on the predictions this week on Bash at Berlin. So kudos and shout out to you, Coach. You was kind of hesitant on a couple of. You was kind of, I acknowledge you, my brother. But you were kind of hesitant on a couple. But like I always tell you, man, just go with your gut. You need them points, and look what happened. You went 5 for 5. But the biggest thing on my mind from the wrestling, especially from Bash Berlin, is also Gunther ending the show and retaining the World Championship in his home crowd. And it was not only was it a great match, but it was a great opportunity for Gunther to be in the ring with a legend in the caliber of Randy Orton, to be not sort of like the passing the torch, but passing of the torch, hey, you gained your respect and here you are. So for me, that was like one of the biggest takeaways and one of the biggest things on my mind.
Yeah, that was a moment with them shaking hands, right? Like that's the old guard now passing it off to somebody who may not necessarily be a locker room leader, but definitely is a leader when it comes to that ring. That's for sure. Coach, you want to jump in on that right there?
Oh, I was raving about that match. I loved every minute of it. Yeah, it was long as hell, but it was well worth it. And it was, it had the big fight feel from the beginning. And that started with our boy Ludwig Kaiser in there taking the mic from Samantha. That moment, that's how I knew it was, it's going to be a great night. It's going to be a great match. So, all the feels, man. That I enjoyed every minute of that match.
It was interesting that he beat him straight up too, right? Like we had the controversial win last time at King of the Ring, and then for him to turn around and then put him to sleep of all things, that's different, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but for him to beat him straight up and put him to sleep, not just pin him, but like put him to sleep, that's different. Am I wrong?
No, not at all. It's just like his Intercontinental run is continuing to the World Championship run. It's the way he was defeating them, just the same way, man. But to do it to someone like Randy Orton, no matter what stage in Randy Orton's career, it's still Randy Orton, the Viper, the legend, the 14-time all-time champion. You did in the middle of the ring, and not only did you prove that you were the king of the ring, but you proved that, hey, I beat you the first time, and now I got you. So the crowd was in it. But I want, say it was a crowd momentum that did it. We got to give Gunther his props. Like, he hung in there. But Randy made a lot of mistakes with stalling out. And, you can't let someone like Gunther, he's called the ring general for a reason. And he's doing exactly capitalizing on the small mistakes. And Randy made a few mistakes as a veteran. And he looked at those and said, okay, I'm going to capitalize on it. Now, let me go ahead and put you to sleep. And we're going to go on to the sunset. And but kudos to Randy, because like Big E said, man, when Randy Orton shakes your hand in the middle of the ring after a match he loses, that means a lot to him, and that means you gain his respect, and he don't do that often. So for him to do that to Gunther, that was definitely impressive.
It was a match that shot him into the upper stratosphere. He is now truly a superstar, and he has arrived. That match could not have ended any other way. Think about it. I knew as soon as Gunther kicked out of that RKO, I was like, okay, all right, this dude's something different. Okay, who really does that? But as soon as he kicked out of that finish, it had to end that way. Two powers collided, and that was perfect. I was hearing other shows saying that, with WWE and UFC kind of doing a merger thing, they're kind of gonna, Gunther's kind of adopt that, putting you to sleep type, submitting you and kind of finishing matches that way. So, kind of giving matches a different flavor, which is what I'm cool with. But I enjoyed like I said, the big fight field. I enjoyed every minute of it. And let's get more of Gunther because, yeah, here he is. He's here officially as a superstar, next level.
Yeah, he's never going to lose that title, it seems, in my mind. So, and I'm here for it because he actually does do the work in the ring. And, I think he handles himself well enough on the mic. So we shall see. Coach, what's on top of your wrestling mind?
I had made a clip, if y'all remember, months ago, asking our boy Triple H to please let's get intergender wrestling involved and watch the world pop. I think we are close with Dom and Rhea. It's just rumblings out there, but this will be the first time it would actually legitimately make sense. So, with the heat that they have, the rivalry, obviously, the Judgment Day versus old Judgment Day, whatever you want to call it, but those two, it would be funny as shit to see the first intergender match that's official between those two. So, hey, let's get it done. Let's do something different. Let's do something exciting. So, I would love to see that interaction, no doubt. And they could take care of each other because they're both good in the ring. So it would be cool.
She's going to beat the hell out of that man. Griff, you agree?
Yeah, I agree. She's going to beat the hell out of Dom, and she's definitely going to beat the hell out of Liv, as we saw in the match. Like, Liv don't stand a chance. Like, the only way Liv stand a chance with Rhea is when Dom come and distract her, she sneak in from the crowd. Like, Rhea showed, like, Dom, credit to Liv. She did a couple good move sets, but Liv can't deal with Rhea, bro. Like, it's... I mean, at this point juncture, like, no, but no, but as far as the intergender, that was a nice tease. And Coach, I did recall you used to mention and saying that. So hopefully we see some more of that, but we got to make sure, hopefully they're looking at that, making sure it's the right people that can do it. And it's the right move, not just we're doing this every week. Cause you do it every week, then you got other lawsuit stuff that come into play. So yeah, man, that was a good tease. And I'm glad they did go in this route that, you get to see some intergender retaliations in this match.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Bash in Berlin. Sorry. Bash at the Beach is what I was thinking. What was your match of the night? What was the one that jumped out to you the most? And why was it the Usos on the pre-show? I'm joking, obviously, guys. Come on.
I'm about to say because I totally missed that, Jeffy.
Come on. But match of the night. What was your match of the night?
I would say the match of the night for me, I would have to go with, it's a toss-up, but I'm going to have to go with the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre for me. I love the finish, the numerous go-to-sleeps, and not just that, too, but I liked the end, too, of Punk just regaining and the bracelet. Which, if you're really a wrestling fan, if you really was following this story and this feud, when he grabbed that bracelet, you automatically knew come Monday night, like, this story ain't over with. You know what I'm saying? It's a 1-1 series, and they did a great job making it seem like, hey, I'm moving on. I'm going after Gunther. But, but, man, that match itself, man, was the best for me. That one between that one and the tag match with the ladies, but that one for me because Punk came through, and then that was his first win in 10.5 years. So that, to me, was more pivotal to see.
Coach, match of the night?
My match of the night was the match we just started off talking about. It was Gunther and Randy. Yeah.
Okay.
That was my pick. Yep, sticking with it.
What about the biggest surprise of the night? What was the thing that jumped out to you the most on the show?
I would say Bianca and Jay when regaining the tag belts. Because I did have Isla Dawn and Alba Fire going in to win. But then as the match went on, I kind of stood like, you know what? I kind of expected Blair Davenport to probably get involved and for them to interfere. It's pretty much shown like whenever it's a straight up one-on-one, the Jet Beauties were going to win. But to me, I think that was like my surprise of the night because I didn't expect them to regain and recapture the tag belts. Not saying they weren't good enough to do it, but I just didn't have them picked to do it, and they pulled it off.
Coach, biggest surprise?
Biggest surprise was KO remaining face KO. Yeah,
great
so
point.
Not doing what we expected. I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised. The way that match started, well scouted. They, obviously the crowd was behind them. It was Cody Rhodes and KO. They just want to see a good match, but all the spots, the callbacks to what he used to do in his heel days, the power bomb on the apron, and some of the old shitty KO tricks that he, hey, I'm teasing it, but never did it. That surprised the hell out of me. So I would say definitely, KO not giving, as soon as you guys, hey, raise my hand in victory, and then here comes a clothesline. Didn't happen. So yeah, I'm surprised there's no no heel KO as of now. So yeah, that's what I got, Jackie. Yep. What's your match of the night and surprise?
I don't remember who said it. It might have been Michael Cole. It might have been Wade Barrett, but they said that Kevin Owens is going to need to be an ally to Cody, knowing that the bloodline is on the way, right? And so no matter what happens with the bloodline, they're coming after Cody at some point. So once he said that, it was like, all right, this kind of makes sense that he needs somebody in his pocket when the nonsense starts with the bloodline. So
gotcha.
I mean, we were calling for it. We obviously saw it, but thankfully, the new WWE is giving us a couple swerves. So, thankfully. Speaking of swerves, Odyssey Jones.
Oh,
ooh, ha. Let's go here. This is not normal for our show to kind of get outside of the squared circle itself, but I feel like we would be remiss without actually having these conversations moving forward. I think we need to talk about these things. Odyssey Jones has been removed from WWE due to some domestic violence allegations.
Is that what it was?
Say that. I want to say it right. I want to say it right because he has not been arrested or anything like that.
I didn't see the reason. I didn't see the reason, but
he's not been arrested or anything like that. But the only reason I bring it up is because the man just got on the screen. And I don't know what was holding him out the whole year or so when he got drafted to Raw, but like you missed opportunities, right? And so we always talk about black wrestlers and kind of the missed opportunities things here. Let's talk about like Velveteen Dream, right? And his struggles that he had with the allegations again, right? All of that to say, my man from MSK is flourishing on the roster now, right? And all right, I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to draw some things here, draw some conclusions, get my conspiracy board up, but it just doesn't look great when every time a black wrestler messes up, they're immediately gone, and no chances are given again. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic, gentlemen. If you have some. If not, we can totally move on. But I didn't want to go on with the show without saying something here.
Jesus. To be honest, when I first saw it, when it comes to content creating and people putting stuff out there, you don't just believe it right away until you see the full report, the full release statement. So my heart dropped because, to your point, you just got on TV and I was laughing, not saying the situation was funny, but I was laughing because I'm like, right when we're getting close for the New Day to break up, it seemed like God finds something to keep them together.
That was my thoughts. No, that was what I was sitting here thinking about.
I was laughing, not the situation itself, but I was like, every time we get close for the New Day,
you read my mind, bro.
Here comes something else.
They're gonna be together forever, bro. Together forever.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make this quick and say because I mean no harm, no disrespect, and I'm a person that till full releases reports come out, it's just unfortunate to your point. And so, every time a black wrestler go through something this deviating, it's like right away removed or you gone, sayonara, don't come back, here's your pink slip. And it's just unfortunate. Again, these allegations, WWE hasn't put a release statement out. That's just what's going on. It's domestic violence. My hats and prayers just out, man, because it's a lot of that. It's got to be real. It's a lot of that just going on for some reason. I don't know why. And it's a real serious thing, unfortunately. I'm hoping it's not true, but I guess that's what the report is right now. But it just sucks because on one side it's like, dang, every time we get ready to creep and climb the ladder, it's always something comes up that just pushes us further back. But then on the other side, the disappointment in me is saying like, yo, man, like y'all got these opportunities, like what is it, man? Like what is going on? Like why do we always, it's like it's almost like I want to say, why do we always get opportunities and F it up? And then like on the other end, when we make a mistake and incidentally F it up, then we get destroyed forever. So it's kind of like a frustrating battle in between when it comes to the black wrestlers and when this thing's like happen, man. But man, I feel for this situation. I'm just gonna wait and see what the report sign releases, and I know once the official report come out, the internet's gonna eat up and tear it up, and I'm sure it's gonna be some racial slur. Let's just keep it real. It's gonna be some racial stuff right behind it, and it's just unfortunate, man. But
yes,
that's all I have.
Yeah. Coach, any thoughts on the Odyssey Jones situation?
Same rules apply even in this wrestling world that applies in our everyday world that we live in as black men. I'm just going to say that they know that we just have to move different. We have to be different. We have to carry ourselves damn near perfect, just to even be considered. But, let's continue to follow the, Bianca Belair path is, stay on the straight and narrow, wrestle your ass off and perform and just be a voice. And some of us get it, some of us don't. And just know that there's consequences for our actions. And
that's it. That's the thing.
And
that's the thing. I've always tried to tell like my students and stuff, man. Like I'm not even upset with the action that you have done, right? Obviously, if this is true, then no, you're a terrible person. Like get it together. But you have to know that there are consequences to whatever actions you decide to take, and if you're doing that, brother, then it is what it is. On the flip side of that, it's like we got to find a way to be better and find a way for to survive in this world. But you hit the nail on the head. There's consequences to our actions. So hopefully he bounced back from that. Hopefully there can be some type of reconciliation if this is untrue. But I mean, he's already been fired. It's not like he's been suspended or whatever. He has been fired. So yeah.
Sheesh.
Tis what it is, and hopefully he bounced back. We'll keep our prayers up for him. So I want to go to a topic that we haven't talked about yet. Griff, you sent this into the group chat the other day, and I want to go ahead and bring it to light since we are off the beaten path already, and let's just go ahead and talk about it. You shared this photo with us, brother, and said that this is possibly the newest NXT. Are you claiming this to be NXT 4 Horsewomen or just like 4 Horsewomen period? Go ahead and give your thoughts here, Griff.
I'm just going with the NXT, like the next one's up. When I saw that, I said, "Oh, this is interesting," because I wanted to talk to you guys about this because the reason I posted because I wanted to get everybody else's feedback as well too. But I kind of disagree with this picture. In a sense, because if I can go right on ahead, I see why Lyra is there because she's from the same country as Becky, and her and Becky had rivalries. But I'm and Cora Jade, I know she's been having injury issues and things, but two people that really been carrying the NXT flag over the last few years itself is not on here, and I'm talking about JC Jane and Gigi Dolan. I think it's a good discussion argument that could be in this picture as well. Roxanne and Tiff, I kind of could see that Roxanne is really like probably one up, but I really just think like JC Jane and Gigi Dolan could be part of this conversation as well too. Not saying that they are the 4 Horsewomen, but I think they've been left out and been overlooked over the years.
I would say 2 of the 4 on here makes it. Roxanne is better than Bayley. She's up there as far as superstar. She already has more superstar power than Bayley.
Oh, you're comparing them vertically, Coach. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
Okay.
That's I'm just looking at it vertically as I see it. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, Cora and Sasha, there's no comparison either because I believe Sasha was better, of course. So that was just my first take on it.
If we're speaking NXT, then I think the only one that's been consistent is Roxanne, right? Tiffany's been gone for a long time, and even when she was gone, I wouldn't say that she was down on that roster very long, honestly, right? Compared to the other 4 girls up top, if that's what we're talking about, right? Those 4 girls up top carried NXT for a long time. It wasn't just
years.
Once you're ready, go on up. Once you're ready, going up. No, like they actually carried it for a minute. But Roxanne is actually doing that now. Like she's second place for title defense? Maybe not title defenses. PLE defenses or something like that. It's something like that. I'm sorry. I'm off topic. But she's breaking records is what I want to say. But the other 3, Tiffany and Lyra were rushed up pretty quickly compared to the 4 horsewomen from original. And then Cora, unfortunately, has just been out with the injury. Of the ACL. And but she probably would be in the same conversation with Roxanne if she doesn't get hurt, right? So I would agree with you. I would add JC Jane. Maybe not so much Gigi Dolan because Gigi.
Yeah.
I don't know. JC Jane definitely needs to be in that conversation.
Yes.
And then it gets a little murky from there. So we'll leave it open-ended for now. And come back and create our own 4 horsewomen as we continue. But also with that comes Julia, who just now joins the NXT roster on the women's side. And the reason that I bring her up is what happens when there's too many on the roster, main and NXT, because they're constantly doing tryouts. So what happens when you have too many mainstays on your rosters? What do you guys think?
So you're saying you're saying when both are crowded, you talking about when both rosters are crowded, main and
because essentially we're going to come to a bottleneck here in a second, because the only person that's like really scheduled to retire is John Cena, right? So nobody's leaving the main roster unless they're just like unhappy. And then honestly, if you're unhappy on the main roster, that means like you wasn't putting in work anyway, right? And so the people that are on screen aren't leaving our screens anytime soon. Unless you're like going on vacation or something or whatever, like Seth Rollins, for instance. But we know Seth is coming back. With all of the tryouts and things for the NXT, with all the superstars that they're building up down on NXT, let's take, for instance, Jada Parker. She has to go somewhere, right? Either to the main card roster, the main card picture on NXT, or she goes up. Same with Roxanne. If Roxanne loses, she goes up. But where does she go? Because there's so many women in catering right now. What are we doing? So how do we how does WWE fix this issue of having too many, kind of like the AEW issue that they ran into of just having too many people? How do you think that they fix this issue of having too many? I'm not saying that it is an issue right now. I'm just saying it's potentially is what I mean.
Could be, yeah.
I think, especially when they move to these networks, I think the increase 2 to 3 hour shows for SmackDown NXT probably can help. Also, with the partner with TNA too, we don't know like fully the different crossovers that are getting ready to happen. We've seen some already went through the last couple months and early this year with Jordan Grace. So we don't know how many more, and also Joe Hendry, by the way. So we don't know how many more that's going to happen. So I think these crossovers, I think, storylining too. A lot of times fitting them in probably storylines and they might not just get wrestle time. They might just get storylines on TV. So it's so much that you can do. But I think the key thing you said out of all this summary, Jackie, is putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like putting in the work a lot of times mean that you can put in the work in the performance center, but you might not get the TV time to wrestle right now, but you're putting in that work and you're building yourself up. So we do have a spot for you. We'll throw you in there. Now, as far as the Roxanne and the new development girls coming in as training and stuff too, that's very interesting. One thing I can say that Shawn Michaels and NXT are doing, they're not doing fully committed storylines. For example, they had Jada Parker just win the match, and then the following week she's fighting Roxanne. So now that's over with. We're going to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So Jada's still getting matches. She just out the number one contendership right now. No more in that storyline. So that makes sense. They're just throwing bodies, getting them prepared, develop, whatever the case might be. Then they're moving on to the next thing. So it seems like they're always finding stories and slots on NXT, and on the main roster, it's kind of tricky because you on, their creative team and their establishments. I think it's a little bit more different than the NXT because you're still developing and you're throwing people in the fire to test them out. Where the main roster, it's like if you don't come with it and then the ratings ain't good, then we're going to bury you, put you in the back of the line, and keep these people up here.
But that's my question, Griff. What do you do to fix that issue? Yeah. Because that's going to become an issue where you're going to have so many people that you've built up. You've done a great job of building up this roster, but now what do you do with said roster? I like your idea of like going to 3 hours for those other shows, right? That'll give some more time on the show. It's a lot of wrestling in the week, but I'm with it. I'll take it. And so what do we do with those? What do we do with those who aren't necessarily on the show, right? You still got Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, all of that group still down on Raw that's doing nothing. DIY, at some point, they're going to be back in catering, right? So what do we do with all of those wrestlers who are good wrestlers, who should be on the roster, who deserve a spot for sure, but at the same time, there's nothing for them to do on the show. So how do you fix that issue of having too many people on your roster? Not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like,
No, right.
Yeah.
Let Coach take this one. I'm going to think about this one. Let Coach go for it.
I was thinking back in the golden days when they had the different shows, like when the superstars of wrestling meant something, main event, other different shows, and maybe they can get eyes, some way, somehow, they can get ratings and eyes to the programs where, you have, I would say with the addition of 2 3-hour shows and maybe making those other shows like main event, a little more, meaningful some way, somehow, to where everybody's getting equal screen time on different nights. It's a good problem to have, but because Triple H, like you said, Jackie, Triple H is bringing them in by the droves. If you're chances are, if you're a D1 athlete, you're gonna be WWE superstar. If you're a great D1 athlete, you have a shot. Me and you saw that, how the way they made that that show, that reality show out of it. So I just think that either cut it off or let's find a way to create more shows. Like, you remember how the way 205 Live used to pop off back in the day?
Yeah, but did it pop, though? That's the thing.
Just keeping it hot was the problem. Yeah. Go ahead, Jackie. But yeah, that was my thing. Maybe just add more shows some way, somehow. But
I don't know that there's actually a solution, gentlemen, that we can come up with. It's not our problem, obviously, but it's just something that I've noticed is essentially going to happen. Because think about like Obafemi, right? Obafemi is literally doing what Omos should have been doing 2-3 years ago, right? He's showing you the powerhouse that he is now, and Omos should have been doing the exact same thing 2-3 years ago, right? Where is Omos now? We don't know, right? And so it's like he's back there somewhere that's not doing anything. But you have kind of the identical character. I won't say the identical wrestler because Obafemi moves differently than Omos. But like you kind of have that same character chilling. Apollo Crews is back there somewhere. There's so many people that are back there, and you have so many people that are coming up the ranks. Eventually, you're gonna have to like like slow that down, similar to what you were saying. Like I said, it's a good problem to have. It's just how do we fix
that's a great
it?
question.
Griff, you got thoughts?
Yep.
Yeah, a couple real quick. I was thinking back in the day, back in the HBK, Big Daddy Cool, Psycho Sid era back in the day, and those times it was like matches and less segments, less promos, less entertainment. Of course, I think if they can lower the time frames to some of those segments and stories that's going on and stuff, and kind of limit those and kind of space them out, like maybe do 5 minutes here, then do something back. If instead of like doing 20-minute segment in the ring, because now you're down to an hour and a half left in the show. Let's say SmackDown, for example, maybe do 8 minutes, then do like another 2 minutes backstage, and then somewhere later in the show do an attack or something, like split it out through the show. That way you still got that segment. Now you got more airtime for people to have matches and things too. So I think if they can lower some of the segment times, that could be a solution. I mean, again, I don't know how they do it back there, but lower some of the segment time. Like on Raw, we all know when Raw opens up with Judgment Day, for example, it's going to be a 10-minute promo, then it's a commercial break, and then somebody in that segment is going to have a match for like 30, 40 minutes. So now you have one match on Raw, and it's already like 8:50 going on 9 o'clock in the first hour. So if you cut some of that time out, you probably could fit 2 or 3 different matches on top of 2 or 3 different segments in there too. That can probably help out too.
Yeah, back in the day, as you guys have said, there was a lot of time being used, and the matches weren't 20-minute, 30-minute matches, right? The matches were maybe 5 minutes. You get in there, you get
5 minutes max.
Yeah, you get over, you come on
10
back
minutes
out.
if you're lucky.
Yeah. He just said in the chat, if they could figure out a way to space stories out more so that they're not necessarily on every week, that would definitely help fit more storylines in. NXT does a very good job of that, where you may have seen so-and-so on 1 week and then not see them for another 2 weeks. So that's a great idea. So, again, not our problem to solve, not our issue, but just wanted to pick your brains to see how you would build your promotions as we've discussed before. Speaking of our own promotions, let's go on over to the fantasy draft and check out the results from this weekend as we had someone go 5 for 5 with their predictions. Let's see how well they did with the scores themselves. This is our roster. This is your team. Look at those teams. Some of these teams are very, very WrestleMania, post-WrestleMania, aren't they?
Bro. I need to get rid of
I need to get rid of something ASAP.
All right, well, I tell you what, next week we'll plan to spin the spinner and see what we can get. Remember that this season, BDixx put a hold on the picks. You cannot just pick anyone up. You have to spin, and whatever you spin is what you get. So we'll see what happens with that next week. But before we do that, we need to see if anything happened, if anything changed in these fantasy results. And here you are, boys. This is where we are now.
Coach catching on up.
It doesn't matter if he's catching up. He's nowhere near the reigning, defending.
I just need you to have a bad PLE, bro.
Undisputed.
And I need to go.
Hey, I
need to go perfect again.
Hey, as long as he got Cody and Cody on every show, it ain't happening, bro. That's what's keeping him.
I feel like y'all are saying that like it was an accident that Cody got picked up. Like, come on now. Like, give your boy some credit over here.
Let me reiterate that again, because we all know Cody ain't losing no time soon.
No,
and Cody
not.
Cannot take a break off no PLE. That's what I'm saying. So as long as he got Cody, that's when the points keep going.
You make it seem like I picked him up on accident. No, sir. No, he was picked up on purpose for that whole point.
Be on this one.
For that whole point. The Ula Fala has nothing to do with this. The Ula Fala is over there on the bloodline, and there are no titles over there on the bloodline. So you can keep your Ula Fala, because here is championship, baby. But that's all I'm saying. I ain't
acknowledge me.
All right, boys. Coach, you down a couple. Look like you catching up to Griff though. So best of luck there. Maybe we'll get one of y'all.
Let me look at the roster again.
Get y'all an IC title or something, so y'all can go back and forth on the mid card. Because
I know, right? I'm saying we need to bring in a new title.
Right.
Get y'all a mid card title.
ECW mid card.
Right, there go your rosters. There you go. So you can see what you got.
Oh no, because
Griff, you got a champion on there too.
I need to get some dubs.
Is that Roxanne in the middle, or am I tripping?
Roxanne and Kalani, yeah.
So you got a couple
I
of
need to get rid of Miz and R-Truth somehow, but it's going to cost me my points.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I got Jay.
So there's three people. Well, the Don lost to Obafemi, right? So yeah.
Yeah, so that's where you took it.
AJ Styles is still somewhere in Japan.
The OC just returned on NXT tonight, so he might not be too far behind them.
Okay.
So you never know.
Hopefully AJ Gunther is my saving grace.
Yeah. That and predictions, clearly.
That's it. That's where I'm making my money.
Over. Yep. Keep going with the predictions. Keep going with the predictions. All right, boys, let's get on out of here. Let's get your final thoughts of the night as we close this one out. This has been fun, but would love to hear your final thoughts. Coach, let's start with you, bro.
I want to talk about,
We can come back to you. It's okay. We can come back to you. Yeah,
because I just lost it. I lost my thought.
That's okay. Griff, can we come to you, brother?
Yeah, I want to give kudos, man. I've been very impressed with this person, and very more impressed this past Sunday with Roxanne Perez. I know she's been like the talk on a lot of podcasts and things. I know Booker T's been hyping her up because that's the school that she went to get trained. And Roxanne is doing what I expected Liv Morgan to be doing as a heel and in this champion. You got to get you some bags and get you some wins and none of that cheap stuff. Like, she's the perfect heel that's like, okay, once I find a slip up or I find opportunity, I'm coming to win. And she's winning matches, like no interferences, nobody coming to help her. She's just finding ways to get wins. So then kudos to her. She's holding the NXT brand down, only 22, 23 years old. She has a long way to go. And I know I was kind of heavy on her earlier in the year too, trying to figure out if she's going to go face or heel. And once she figured out what she was doing and got the belt, man, she just been on this roller coaster train like nonstop. And the match she had with Jada, I mean, we picked her to win regardless, but Jada did give her fault, man. But Roxanne Perez is very underrated, and she don't get a lot of props and respect that she does just because of her size and who she is, man. So kudos to her, man. She really has caught my attention, and I'm really looking forward to this showdown between her and Julia when that happened.
Coach, you got it together?
Yeah.
All right, brother, come on.
I got it now. We're going to see these two probably on an episode of Rivals. But yeah, let's give shout outs and kudos to Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. We will get around 3. That was something we never seen before. That was old school storytelling at its best of pure hatred and the way to kind of move a rivalry forward that can only culminate in what we've been saying, Hell in a Cell next month in Bad Blood. So Drew got into a trance and pretty much lost it, and he snapped out. But it was what it needed to where, yes, let's submit this as one of the best rivalries in history, and I can't wait to see him go at it next month. But yes, that was that was the best, man. That made my night last night. So if you want to say moment of the night for me for Monday Night Raw, which I know we didn't discuss earlier, was definitely Drew and Punk taking it to the next level, and of course showing the blood. So let's get it. So yeah, can't wait for them to finally finish it.
Yeah, man. That's actually, when that does culminate, it's actually gonna be a good one. My final thought is with you guys on Gunther. This man might be the greatest of all time when this is all said and done. I understand he might not have the title reigns to go with it, but when it comes to actually putting on a good show and getting you interested in the match, whether that's, the chops, whether that's his athleticism, whether that's Kaiser getting on the mic and starting it all off, this could go on for a very, very long time. And the opponents that could come his way, again, Gunther and CM Punk is still a thing. Gunther and Seth probably still out there somewhere, in long term. So this title reign could be great, and the title reigns that come after are probably going to be great as well. So looking forward to it, man. All right. We thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate all the love and support as always. And we're going to go ahead and close this one out. Griff, let the people know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, you can find me on IG at GriffNation84 and also on X, formerly known as Twitter, at CGriff84.
Appreciate it, bro. Coach, let the people know where they can find you.
All right, Coach. Yep, I am the coach at Coach Montay 24 on Instagram. Continue to show us the love and the support.
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at JackieMiles42. You can find BDixx on Cash App at BDixx989. Go and drop him a couple dollars. Make him holler. You never know what might happen.
Nasty.
We thank y'all again for tuning in, man. Follow us on all the socials. Find us on Instagram at Ebony Championship Wrestling and on X at Ebony Championship Rest. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified every time the boys hit the screen. We appreciate y'all, and as always, we thank y'all for tuning in. This is Ebony Championship Wrestling signing off. But Coach, let them know.
We ain't never tapping out.
Not once. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
Yes, sir.